So glad to have you. You want that? So, good program today. Really excited to have many members with us. One state leader. We're looking at it for sure. And we're going to get to some good information today. Before we get started, I'd like to ask Joe White to give our invitation. You're going to move to our closing remarks.
Bob, thank you for this week today, offer the gift to us. Like, whether it's what we supply us here, time, our, like, all the things done for us, let us be mindful of those in our communities and those in our circles. We may not be a place that they're experiencing great days, let us be vessels that can serve in any way we see fit for us. Thank you for the opportunity for Rotary, all the work that's been done throughout the world. This organization, opportunity to serve us. So that's what we did. So thank you for the food that's been provided, the nourishment provided. And I get our speaker, I'm going to say information that's shared today. People will write in.
We're just supposed to be an all-time prayer. You may be seated. First of all, welcome our all.
Good afternoon. And it's great to be back. So today we have a wonderful guest, Robert Dewey, Jessica Buck, Colin Buchanan, guest of Susan Ferguson, Dr. David Nathan, guest of Mike Wilson, and we have two Rotaract members here, Royal Reese, Ty Rogers, and Dan Gordon, who is the guest of President Chris Penn.
Thank you, Barbara. With us, we hope we'll come back and to our students, certainly y'all can kind of, we'd love to have you. So we do have some birthdays and anniversaries to announce and share with you. Curtis, October 22nd, happy birthday. And then Lisa, it's birthday also, October 22nd. Happy birthday. We don't have any closing or anniversaries today, but we do have a couple of weddings birthdays. Over again. Mike Wilson, 37 years. Congratulations. I also, Mike and 12 students have been named to be leaders of the Christmas parade, so congratulations. Really well deserved all the work you did. Couple of things on behalf of the club. First of all, we do have a board meeting at 1:15 today, so everybody needs to make that. Anybody who wants to find out what's going on the board level, you're certainly welcome to join. Laura, if you want to come and make a quick announcement for us, tell us a little bit about who you are when you get started. Oh, yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, hi all. So my name is Laurel Reese. I'm vice president of Red at Greenwich College. I'm from Pennsylvania, sophomore. So pretty much what I wanted to come up and talk about is everybody knows that World Polio Day is next Tuesday. We are doing tabling events, which is fundraising. And we have decided to do, since it's kind of getting, it does call a lot of things in between classes are really cold and we found that a lot of them actually like hot apple cider. So yeah, we're doing that and we were also thinking about doing some showcases ideas that we did last year with Miss Barbara. But that's kind of in the works and our group has I would say our group has grown in numbers of so getting people to help out with events. And unfortunately today, we're going to solar path. It's just myself and Eli, who is a mentor of the event. But usually we have these like 4 or 5 people. So we're that's well, yeah. Let's go to the back, so she's out.
You got it.
That'll be a brand. So yeah. Thanks for
Thanks. Well, thank you, Laura, thank you both for being here. So, our college students, Green College, makes our community so much better. So we're glad. Couple of announcements I want to bring up. First of all, blood drive by Red Cross, Holy Center, November 3rd. John, you mentioned you want to bring up, is that related to that or is that separate?
Good, very briefly, and they're asking if you can, go ahead and register. If you plan on giving blood week after next, so if you go ahead and register, there's a card table. Scan that QR code, it will take you to the Red Cross website where you can register, it's real easy to do. And then the only other announcement we've got is for an event we're gonna have at Colby Center on November 24th and 6th. World Polio Day. We'll have some refreshments now and,
Thank you, John. Just want to remind everyone, November 8th, the meeting should be held at the Grange College. We try to do that once a year. We have a Thanksgiving type dinner, so it should be a lunch, it should be really nice. Please mark your calendars and plan to be there. It's a great thing to see how beautiful things are up on the hill. And then we remind everybody that March 21st and 24th is our meeting time. The Jekyll is here, have been Jekyll in a minute, right, to be able to see. Jekyll really improved. How you facilities, a great time to be able to. I'm happy about. You have 2 minutes with the happy about.
I have $2 million, first. The friends of the library will have their first meeting in the renovated library. And I'll be having a conversation with Clay Bryant. We heard here at Rotary, we'll be talking more about this process, its writing process. So it should be a great way to kick things off there. It's 6 p.m. Admission is free, so we hope you can attend. And next Tuesday is LaGrange Symphony's next concert, Passports. It should be great. It starts at 7:30. So you could go to the polio event, and then go. So just around the.
Okay.
very happy about today,
Return to farm. Yes.
I think standing over this.
this weekend, we have a show with LSBA, The Woman in Black. So we have some crisp evenings that are perfect for coming inside the theater Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. And then 3 o'clock on Sundays. We're going to see you there for this year.
And you know, I think that-
I did. I should say thank you for that. And Jekyll High School was a great success. So we were happy that this one came out. It's really nice.
Trent mentioned that we'll be meeting at the college in November the 8th. That program is predominantly for the Walker Murphy Scholarship that we, as Rotary, this Rotary Club started in honor of Walker Murphy. It's our way to give to the college. It's our connection to the college. We recognize our Walker Murphy scholars on that day, the students, but we also recognize our members of Rotary who have contributed at least $1,000 to the fund. So you've got a couple of weeks left. Get those pocketbooks ready and write that $1,000 check so you can become a Walker Murphy Fellow on November the 8th.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's pack it up. And see what's good.
Thank you, President Schmidt. Okay, I think it is my distinct pleasure today to be able to introduce Mindy Benderman. And before I get into her professional body, I'd just like to give a little bit of background. Mindy has been a wonderful friend early on in Truth County. I met her when Georgia Public Broadcasting first announced that they would start, that Gears was going to be starting and Mindy would be new executive director. And that was back in 2010. And when we kicked off our big push for early learning through United Way, Mindy was our United Way kickoff speaker that year. And then again, we started our Women's Leadership Council, and our focus area was announced to be early learning. Mindy and Stephanie Blank came on for that initial Women's Leadership Kickoff, and she has supported us. We've worked together on grants and different things when I was with United Way. It's just a distinct pleasure to have Mindy with us. Mindy is the founding executive director of GEARS, Georgia Early Education Alliance for Many Students. She leads the GEARS efforts to inspire and provide leadership for a statewide movement on early learning and healthy development for children ages birth to 5. She serves as GEARS lead advocate, fundraiser, and spokesperson. Mindy has an extensive career in advocacy and government relations for nonprofits and corporations in both Maryland and Georgia. She served as Director of Government Relations and Public Affairs for the Baltimore Jewish Council, as Vice President of Public Affairs for Planned Parenthood Maryland, before establishing her own successful lobbying firm based in Annapolis, Maryland in 1999. Prior to years, Mindy served as the Advocacy Director for Voices of Georgia's Children from 2007 to 2010. Mindy is a member of Leadership Atlanta class of 2012. She chaired the Governance Council of North Springs Charter High School from 2015 to 2017, and is the current chair of grants for the Jewish Women's Fund of Atlanta. She's a board member of the Georgia WIN, Yes, and Jewish Community Relations Council, and she serves on Georgia's Children's Cabinet, the Get Georgia Reading Cabinet, and Learn for Life Leadership. Learn for Life Leadership Council. Mindy has previously served on the boards of directors of the YMCA of Metro Atlanta, Georgians for a Healthy Future, and the Marcus Jewish Community Center and Voices for Georgia's Children. Mindy's received numerous awards in the community, including being named one of the top women in Maryland by the Maryland Daily Record and the Shiro Award, National Council of Jewish Women, and Ambassador Award by Premier Academy, and the Mark O'Connell Community Impact Award, Hopeful Society of the United Way of Greater Atlanta. Native of Birmingham, Alabama, Mindy received her BA from Newcomb College, Tulane University, and a Juris Doctorate from the American University of Washington College of Law. Mindy is married to Warren Goodman and has 3 children. Please join me in welcoming them.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much to everyone. So first I have a question. I'd like to know, how many of you are parents of children under 5 years? Are grandparents or uncles of children under 5 years? How many of you were a child at one point? Some experience at some level with this work. Can we make it for the full slideshow so everyone can see the full slide? I think. If not, it's okay. I just want y'all to be able to see as much as you can.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
So if you go to from the beginning. All these ways. There we go. Much easier. Although hopefully, the slide were helpful too. So I'm so glad to be here. And as Patty said, I've been to LaGrange, but not since the pandemic. And I really always want to come here. So you'll have to hopefully invite me more. But it's truly a pleasure to be here today. Here, next slide, is a statewide. Our goal is to create a movement around the state of Georgia to support high quality early learning opportunities and development for children birth to 5. We do that through policy work. We do that through convening and collaborating, through research and education. Today, I'm going to try to do a couple in the 20 minutes that I'm going to do. And I really hope that that's my favorite part. That's where I can get to know what you're with and what you want to know. One of we focus on children birth to 5. Why engaging with them? I also want to share some data in Georgia for children and the status of children birth to 5 in Georgia. So we have some work to do. I want to share some opportunities that we might, ways we might partner, ways that you can use your voices to support Indigenous children, and to share a little bit about the work that we're doing, all in 20 minutes. So I'm going to go quickly. And again, I really do hope you'll have questions at the end. If you will share. So first, let's go to where are Georgia families? Georgia families have been struggling for a long time. In Georgia, about a little over 20% of our children live in poverty. 1 in 10 babies are born low birth weight. We also are one of the worst states in the country for maternal mortality. So we know that families matter. We know that families are struggling, and where children are struggling. We also know that fewer than 15% of our income in Georgia get a child care subsidy. So families in Georgia struggle to pay for early childhood education. We're talking about why. And while we do have some in Georgia, only fewer than 15% of them actually get paid for child care. So why does this matter? It matters because when from the time children and child is born until the time about that is a rapid brain time and brain development in the child. The neural connections in the child brain are developing more than 1 million connections per minute. The rest of the time is like amazing. Harder to teach an old dog new tricks. What happens in the beginning of a child's life is that those neural connections, the synaptic connections between are strengthened based on, or weakened, based on their experiences in life, based on healthy, nurturing relationships and serve and return relationships, based on loving words, healthy development, all those things. The synaptic connections between neurons are strengthened. What does that mean? So that creates a foundation for pathways by which we connection that happen when a child is in poverty, experiences toxic stress, child abuse, or lack of healthcare, that leads to other chronic conditions. Those, when those synaptic connections are weak, it is harder to learn. As we get older, we improve on synaptic connections. Which means that the ones that we use, the pathways that we use, are easier, are more efficient. It's why it's easier to learn language when you're young, because some of those things are pruned away when you're older. So just like building houses. Anyone here a builder? Okay, well, I'm not a builder either, but that if you build a strong foundation without cracks, you're gonna have a much stronger building and a much stronger structure later on. That's the idea here. We're building a foundation for everything that comes out in the youngest years of life, which is why here focuses on those very early years. We also know that families are struggling right now. Talk for a moment about why childcare is so expensive. I want to say something that we need to all hear loud and clear. Childcare and the childcare industry was struggling before the pandemic. Families struggled to afford childcare. It was up to 40% of a low-income family's salary. Childcare was expensive. There were waiting lists. That was all before the pandemic. The pandemic really shut on the importance of childcare. As childcare is opening and closing, as parents had to keep their kids at home and also try to work remotely at the same time, parents fallen. As teachers left the field, either because they were exhausted or concerned about their own safety, we saw headlines around the country about why childcare is important. But we didn't fix the problem. We did, the federal government did invest money in helping to stabilize the childcare industry. Actually, we got $2 billion in Georgia. We'll talk about that in a little while. Those dollars are done and have been used by September of this year. And so now we're facing a funding lift in Georgia, and we're right back where we were post pre-pandemic onwards. So the childcare industry continues to struggle in Georgia. Why is that the case? As I said, there's high cost. There's high cost of childcare, and then living. It can cost up to 40% of the low-income family. It is also that the childcare challenges affect families' ability to work. It means that the childcare workforce is chronically underpaid. Childcare professionals are early learning teachers. Our teachers with a degree, they make about $11 to $12 an hour. They have to show up every day in person for work, 365 days a year, maybe 360 days a year. From morning to night, they're working in person, not a hybrid job or a job. They are working really hard. They feel underappreciated, and they can go make more at their Walmart or their call center. And so what we're seeing is this when you don't have teachers in a classroom, you can't have kids in a classroom. And when you have new teachers who can't respond to issues that children are showing right now, social emotional issues, then that's in those synaptic connections that are developed with loving, high qualified teachers don't form in school well either. So we're seeing that our kids are struggling, our families are struggling, our teachers are struggling, and our children are struggling. So part of the role here is to advocate and create solutions to some of these challenges. We work with a lot of different kinds of communities. We reach out to lawmakers, we reach out to policymakers, those in our state agencies that serve children. We work with local officials and federal officials as well as state officials. We work with employers, we're working with employers to create family policies for their own workforces. We work with teachers, parents, grandparents, and other caregivers as well, to try to both develop solutions and advocate for those solutions. We also, so we focus our work in one of the first slides, on research, policy change, public awareness building, and convening. And I'm going to kind of share some remarks about that right now. That's how I'm going to focus the rest of this talk. So let's first talk about some research. I gave you a little bit of data about where children are, but just last week, the National Center for Prenatal to 3-year-old, and this is a slide, so we could just leave that research slide for one second. Just go right back, please. Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I just wanted to share this because this is really new data that's deeply concerning to me. There's a National Prenatal to 3 Policy Impact Center. They introduced this new roadmap for early childhood. Georgia, for the first time, was ranked number 51 worst. One would be the best, number 51 in terms of family positive care for the children. So, comparison say in DC, a working parent has about $47,000 in annual resources to provide for their family. In Georgia, the working parent has about $20,500 in annual resources. Now, the reason for that is they take into account things like cash support, like SNAP. They take into account paid family leave, minimum wage, child subsidy policies. They put all this together, and that's how they get this of this level of annual resources. So there are some policies, right, that we can enact that would help get us to a better condition. Things like, and you'll hear me talk about the things like tax credits for kids, so that a family could have access to resources. We know, again, children are living in poverty. They are less likely to be read at kindergarten. They are less likely to be at grade level by the kindergarten grade. They are less likely to graduate high school. So one thing that we want to do, because children live in the context of a family, is we want to ensure that they're in a strong state, and that family can help provide the same policy, but the same report listed a couple of other data points that I wanted to share. We're number 49 in the percentage of low-income women who are insured. Only 33.6% of Georgia's low-income women are insured. 15.4% of births are to women who are not receiving adequate prenatal care. We're 35. We're number 42 in terms of children under 3 living in poverty. Now, there is some good news. We're number 9 in terms of families reporting food insecurity. So we're doing better there. We're number 3 in terms of children whose parents lack parenting support. So we're doing helping provide parents with kind of some of the parenting information, I think. We're 3 there. We're number 11 in terms of, that's not good. We have some of the, we are one of the states with the most providers participating in our quality rating and improvement system, our star ratings for child care. So there are some very bright spots in Georgia, but we have some work to do as well. And I think that that's important to point out. So, Gears also does its own research. One of the things that we talk about, next slide, is about the impact of climate. We did a survey first with the Chamber of Commerce. But, prior to the pandemic, one out of four parents who surveyed with a child under 5 reported that they had to quit a job, that they lost a job, or that they were unable to take a job or a promotion in childcare time. At that point, we crunched the numbers and we found that Georgia lost $1.75 billion annually due to childcare time. And another 105 million in lost tax revenue. That was in 2018. In 2021, we redid the survey. We did not do the economic analysis, unfortunately. The chamber and their company. But instead of 1 in every 4 families who answered affirmatively to that question, it was 1 in every 3. So if it was 1.75 billion lost in 2018, I think that we can comfortably say it's much more than that in 2021. Georgia's economy and Georgia's family children all rely on a healthy, thriving childcare sector. Also wanted to share just one more quick thing that we just released. We released Georgia's annual early childhood checkup. This is brand new for us. I'm going to send Trip the link so we can send it out. I'm going to talk about it today, but it is a new checkup. We look at 3 different things: we look at learning, children's early learning, children's health and well-being, and then family well-being. Is that didn't make the slide? The idea is that it's going to be we're going to look at over 5 years trend in Georgia, and it'll be like an easy way for you to be with Georgia's children. So those are some of the things that we do from a research perspective. We also do focus groups and surveys, independent research, as well as research in partnership with Georgia Department to find what's happening in Georgia in this kind of care. Okay, we can go to the next slide. We also work on the advocacy. Legislative session coming up in January. We're in the 2nd year, our 2-year legislative session. And we have lots of opportunities. Really wanted to focus on the fact, as I said before, we can get the next slide, that the federal funding of $2 billion has ended in Georgia. Well, has ended around the country. Georgia used those dollars well, incredibly well. What we did in Georgia is our Department of Early Care and Learning gave stable grants. Those were grants to every licensed childcare provider in the state of Georgia monthly. It helped them pay for teacher salary. It helped them stabilize tuition. It helped them with some of the materials that they needed, healthcare, like masks at the beginning of the pandemic, extra cleaning supplies. All those things to help stabilize the childcare industry in Georgia. They also provided 3 rounds of power payments or bonuses to teachers who work in childcare, again to try to help stabilize the industry. Now, however, those federal dollars have ended, and what we're hearing from childcare providers is that they are worried that they're going to have to raise tuition, and they're struggling to pay, that they might have to cut teacher wages again at a time. Without teachers being in the classroom, or look at other ways to support things. So there's a lot of concern there, and a lot of people have a historic budget surplus in Georgia to invest in childcare. So we have 6 things that we're working with policymakers that they can do right now to support our young. One of them is it can improve access to quality childcare. We are looking for investment of at least $20 million in our tax subsidy program to serve those families who are hardworking, low-income Georgia families who are either working a job, a low-income job, or in school and need access to funds. So we're looking to invest state dollars in our childcare program. We can strengthen Georgia's pre-K program. In addition to our record surplus in the state, we also have a record unrestricted reserve in Georgia's pre-K program, in Georgia's lottery program. Now, who knows what Georgia lottery funds? Education, two things in education. Hope Scholarship and grant and Georgia Pre-K. It's for the have strong start and strong finish, is the way at the top of the we have record unrestricted reserve in Georgia's Georgia lottery program. And as a matter of fact, the speaker House has appointed a committee chaired by Speaker Pro Tem Jan Jones, who's looking at how we can invest in Georgia's pre-K program. Some of the things that we think are important on Georgia's class size to go with pre-K, it's at 22 children with two teachers. I've never been in a room full of 4-year-olds. That's too big for a high quality program. Class size, we want to pay teachers more. And targeted pre-K programs for 3-year-olds, particularly in counties that have low third graders. I think those are some good ways that we can improve and strengthen the we want to ensure stable health coverage for children. Have you heard of Medicaid Unlimited? So Medicaid Unlimited, that during the pandemic, children who were eligible for Medicaid stayed on Medicaid. Now they have to, once again, there's an eligibility determination. About a third of children who are in Medicaid under 5 have lost their coverage due to really mostly technical, not that they're not income, their families aren't income eligible, but there have been some technical problems with unwinding Medicaid. We're working on that, but we also think that one way that we can ensure that kids have access to stable health care, especially in those early years. Those of you who have raised young kids might remember that in the first 3 years, like there's a lot of doctor's appointments and checkups that really help, again, ensure immunization, ensure that they're on the healthy development so that they're ready to go. We want to ensure that they basically have continuous Medicaid eligibility throughout the time. We know that from the research, children are economically eligible. Right now, the parents have to bring in forms and pay stubs, and that redetermination often means that children are kicked off Medicaid for a certain amount of time. That's not good for our economy. It's not good for our kids. It's not good for our families. So that's one thing we're looking at. We want to invest in maternal and child health. We were very excited that last session, the legislature appropriated $1 million for a pilot program, baby programs, where home visitors come, meet with new parents, help them with parenting, ensure that children are meeting their development. And our Commissioner of Public Health, Dr. Kathleen Toomey, is really excited about this program. We want to help her strengthen that. We're working with her on that and hopefully expand that as we see success in the program. Support the financial well-being of families. We talked a little bit about some of the ways that we can do that through child tax credit, paid parental leave, things that help families care for their children. And so those are some of the things that we will be doing during our legislative session. We always need advocates. Legislators need to hear from you. They need to hear your stories. They need to hear why you care about these issues as employers, as parents and grandparents, as neighbors, as members of the community. So if you know who your Georgia State Representative is, raise your hand. Good. More of you know that we need rooms that I speak in. You know who the Georgia State Senator is, raise your hand. Great. If you don't, if you weren't able to reach, you can go look it up. Write them a letter, introduce yourself, tell them about this, and then we will continue to be. You have an opportunity to join us, particularly if you have young kids or if you can share the date with your friends and family. We have something we call Strolling Thunder. It's February 29th for this week. February 29th, easy date to remember. We bring families and teachers and grandparents with babies to the capital. Kind of chaotic, it's messy, but it's really fun. We write letters to legislators. We invite legislators in the big room. We invite them to join the constituents for lunch. We, walk to the Capitol with strollers separated, so that legislators really can see the babies that we're talking about. So that issue, it is a really fun day, and the idea here, we, are hoping to provide transportation to people from many of our, so if there's any interest in getting a bus here, we can help provide transportation if you'll help us fill the bus. With families that come for schools. Okay. I'm watching my time, so I want to make sure that I'm trying to run through some of them. We also work on public awareness building. We have paid campaign, we have coalition, we have the Public Georgia and Public Coalition. That is about 100 organizations strong. If you represent a nonprofit or childcare organization, healthcare organization that's interested in helping advocate and as part of the coalition, please let me know. We just posted a convening of teachers from around the state. We had spots for 50 teachers because we had them on the line, fed them and everything. We got 250 teachers who applied for 50 spots to help us design policy solutions for this workforce crisis, right? You guys said what they would want. Yeah, we're gonna pay more, but what else would you want? Most of them said they wanted respect. They wanted access to scholarships. They wanted opportunities to make a difference. But we just posted that 2 weeks ago, and we'll be writing a report on that. We host a bus trip around the state every year. You can keep going. We host a bus trip around the state every year to show policymakers and funders and other community leaders high quality programs around the state. Last year, actually, we went to Alabama and looked at some of the work that Alabama is doing. Because we're just trying to make more. I grew up in Alabama, and I think Georgia's usually much better, but we saw some interesting classrooms and learned. We convene school system leaders, particularly around P3 alignment, so preschool to 3rd grade alignment. What we learned is that elementary school principals and child care center directors often have a similar job. They've never met each other. They have different ideas about what school readiness is like, child development. And we wanted to give us opportunities to get to know and learn from each other. Again, we've done this mostly in the metro area now. There was an interest in doing here. We would love to bring the people fellowship as well. So lots of different opportunities. And finally, we work with our local government around the state as well. We talk to them about how they can invest ARPA dollars, how they can support their youngest children. I'm excited about some of that work. But I'm over time, and I wanted to see like 1 or 2 questions.
2 questions. One question. Seems like an easy thing to solve would be to get an increased number of eligible families to get funds available to support them. Do you have any idea why 50% of eligible families are getting?
Sorry, I should have said that. We run out of dollars. That program is funded in Georgia, mostly through the federal block grant for the state. And quite simply, we run out of dollars. State, that's why we're looking for additional investments in that. The state prioritizes, so right now, to get priority for those dollars, you have to either basically be homeless, very low income, grandparents, grandchildren, foster care families, and foster adoption youth. If you're not in one of those high priority categories, there just aren't the dollars to support.
Of course, we all know the number of 66 to 68% of our children are not reading off grade level at the end of 3rd grade. And what we have realized also is that there's a direct correlation with children that are not going to preschool. I understand the Hope Scholarship is for preschool. And it's for everyone. Breaks my heart. Because if you remove the 10 to 15% of children who have learning disabilities, there's a direct correlation between those children in poverty or those not attend preschool, and those that do not begin fourth grade reading on grade level. So of course, because it's available to everyone, whether you can afford it, need it or not, those who have money rush in there, immediately sign up for that pre-K 4-year program, are going. And the ones that need it the most, oh, it's the beginning of school year, oh, there's a 4-year preschool program that my child goes to. Oh, let's go sign up. It's all filled.
So there is a concern about families enrolling in the program as we said, a universal program. If you have a 4-year-old, regardless of their income, enroll in Georgia's lottery funded pre-K program. I think that's a great program. For the most part, while there are some waiting lists around the state, about 5,000 waiting lists, we also know that there are spots available if families can drive, say, 5 more miles sometimes, right? They may not have their first choice of a pre-K program. There's usually another one. You have to do a better job encouraging families to enroll and helping them find a spot. But in addition to that, and I'll send that, we love our Georgia pre-K program for you. But if you remember those first slides about brain development happens when the child is born. Through this problem always happening, but the most rapid rate of brain development in those early years. That means that 1 year of pre-K is great, but those children who have not had access to high quality child care to 3 are already starting behind. And so we need even more than 1 year of pre-K. And that's why so much of her advocacy is so urgent. Taking away nothing else, you'll see, please take my address, take our website, sign up as advocates for our newsletter and support the meeting.
And moms and Georgia's family, we're just grateful for your work. So in your honor today, we're speaking, we're gonna make a donation to Polio Plus, which is one of these efforts to eradicate polio worldwide. We have some great programs coming up, and we're aware of it. So next week, Holly Winters can come talk to us about blood clot and Red Cross. November 1st, President Jerry Moorhead, the University of Georgia, will be with us. November 8th, we get the Green College and focus on the Walter Merckx Scholarship. And then November 15th, Stephanie from Stephens. So look forward to having you here. Hope you have a great rest of the week.